Hi, my name is Deotandra, but you can call me Dotty for short. My friends call me Dotty. I am what you would understand as a fairy. Fairies are real. I'm a fairy. I'm a fourth density being, and I'm not going to talk so much about density and dimension because I know that this is often discussed through the channeling process, but what I will talk about more is frequency and parallel and alternate realities. That's what excites me more to talk about, because the scientific descriptions of density and dimension is just a little different for me. It's a little different for us. But you can consider me a fairy. I don't mind that label. I don't mind that definition. It's fun. It's playful. It's representative of my kind. So I am called Deotandra, but you could call me Dotty for short. I exist in a parallel reality to yours. I think that's a lot more fun than saying a dimension or a density. I'm in a parallel reality. So you've seen cartoons and you've seen movies and TV shows and all of those stories. Well, those don't just come from imagination, silly. Those come from a very real experience, from a very real place. And humans have the subconscious, unconscious ability to tap into these realities and see them and experience them and even have lifetimes here. So many of you humans have lifetimes in alternate realities that look like something you'd see in a movie. Isn't that cool? I think it's cool. So for my parallel reality, which I guess if you want to be scientific, you could call it like another dimension, we have the ability to shift our frequency of our perspective, of our bodies, of our minds, of our focus, and we can sneak into your reality. We can sneak in and we can peek and we can watch and we can look and we can observe and we can play with a lot of you in your reality. And the way that we do this often is when we come from our reality to yours, we will change our physical appearance to look like something that you would expect to see in your day-to-day life, in your reality, in your version of reality, and what you understand as your world. So we can appear as birds, we could appear as animals, we can appear as insects and other things so that we blend in and we disguise ourselves. And this is something playful that we do to interact with your world and to play with you. And so we play with you in a lot of ways. We play with you through symbolism and synchronicity. We play with you through numbers and smell and senses. We play with you in changes of temperature. We're a lot like, you've heard of elementals. Your water, air, fire, earth elementals. These are very real energies. These are very real consciousness. And we play with them too. But when we come from our reality to yours, we're more like that. We're more like an element. We're more like nature. We translate as nature. So in your stories and your literatures and your drawings and your movies, we're like little fairies, like Tinkerbells. This is sometimes how you interpret our dimension and our reality. Because when we come through and we preserve more of our physical appearance, we can translate like that. But we look even more different in our own reality. Now, when someone has found what do you guys call us? I don't know what you call us. Maybe a creature, maybe a gnome, maybe a troll, maybe a little fairy with wings that looks like maybe like plant sometimes. When these things come through that you don't understand, you've never seen before, and they're very foreign to you, and you have no scientific description of them, When they come through in this form, this is much more representative of what we can look like and other beings in our versions of reality can look like when they come to your version of reality. It's a translation process that looks physically different based on the frequency it's in. And so we, as very loving and very playful beings, when we come through to your reality, we have a great deal of respect for you and a great deal of respect for your version of Earth. So we come through in very fun, playful versions of nature and versions of elements. And this is the way that we prefer to translate our energy to you. But we do come from what you would understand in your depictions of fantasy as a fairy realm, which is, of course, just another frequency of energy, another version of reality that exists. This is where your stories come from. They come from the truth. They come from experience here, where humans have and do live here now, just in our form, in our version of physicality. And when we talk to you about the fairies and gnomes and other creatures that come through that maybe look a little creepy or a little scary or a little frightening, in our version of reality and our plane of existence, we have some troublemakers that we like to call them, the ones that don't always play nice, and the ones that are a little nasty to us, and they're a little nasty to humans. These are the ones that come through that keep more of their natural physical appearance. But these beings also have the ability to translate their physical appearance into something that's more representative of what your version of nature is. So although they might not always look like their true form, or we might not always look like our true form, that's what it can look like sometimes. So this maybe sort of gives you an idea of why you see so many things in your reality that you don't understand and look like a character from a movie. That's an explanation. You also, of course, have other species that exist in your version of reality, not ours, but in your version of reality that you don't know about yet. And they look very different, and they look very foreign, and they look very mysterious. And those are another idea. Those are your creatures. Those are your species that exist in your reality that you don't understand yet. And someday you will learn about them. But I am Dotty, and I'm from what you would understand as a fairy realm, as a fairy reality. And it is closer and closer and closer and closer and more accessible to lighter frequencies of energy. And as you, as humans, as individuals, expand your understanding of what nature is and how nature translates based on the frequency of it, you can start to see us and interact with us more and more and more. And this is going to be somewhat of a frequency thing, people who are a more specific frequency will experience those other creatures and those other more practical depictions of beings from our realm that are more mischievous. And then if you're of another frequency, vibration, you can experience more beings like me. I'm a girl. We have male and female here. And sometimes our species look a little more masculine or look a little bit more female. Our gender traits are a little less specific, but I am still a girl. If you've ever seen your fantasy art, your fantasy works that depict the elves and the fairies and the trolls, these all come from very real versions of reality that your creative and intuitive artists translate into their work, into entertainment. But imagination is all a version of reality. It all exists somewhere. you can pretend that I look like a fairy from your stories, with pointy ears and wings and sparkly skin, long hair. And my version of reality, my race, is very playful. And we like you guys a lot. If you ever want to interact with us, there are ways that you can do this. And it first starts by connecting to nature. Nature and being away from technology and recording equipment are going to be some of the easiest ways that you can interact with us in a physical way, in a real physical way, where our reality could merge with your reality, and we could play, and we can talk, and we can interact. And it might be a little bit at first, but we invite you to play with us. And we invite you to play with us. And thank you for communicating with me. You could call me Dotty. I am what you would understand as a fairy. I am a woman in the way you term gender. And I love you. I hope you come hang out with me. I'll see you in the forest. Later.